Welcome back, my fellow duplicants. Today we're going to try to tame this iron volcano, get a little bit of power out of it, but mostly make sure that we can get access to that unlimited source of refined iron that it is right there at a reasonable temperature. So this is actually based off of a video series I did a while ago where I was taking a look at these iron volcanoes and gold volcanoes and all of that and getting a little bit of power out of them. But at the main thing here that this system is designed to do is to get that thermal energy out of that iron very, very quickly before it will erupt again, so that we can actually cycle it out and use it inside of our base. So this is the setup right here, and I actually used it in my last base, but I adapted the design a little bit. So I made a little bit of a blueprint of that from the previous base, and that's what this is right here. However, it's using a lot of metals that I don't have access to right now because I built it post-space age. So I've adapted the design a little bit right here, but you can see that one problem I have right now is that it doesn't fit my scenario. It's actually too large to the right there, unfortunately, because that's just neutronium and I can't build over there. So what I'm going to have to do is redesign this blueprint a little bit to mirror it from right to left. Now I could potentially use this same blueprint over here where I have a gold volcano, but you can see that it too has limitations in that it's kind of encroaching into this environment down here, which is super hot. So that's one of the challenges that I face when developing blueprints, is that they really do have to kind of be the minimum size that they can be so that they can kind of fit the situation, or they're modular enough to actually fit the situation. I know a lot of people ask for blueprints, and I like to develop them a little bit more before I roll them out. So what I hope to have by the end of this video here is a method that I can actually roll out as a blueprint so that you can build it inside of your base pre-space age stuff. So everything inside of here is going to be steel or less. So let's start off by creating a nice blank space right here where I can actually build up the blueprint, mirror it as I have to recreate it on top of this volcano. So get to it, dupes. And can somebody please get these poor Paku a little bit of water? Oh, thank you, babe. I got some water now. Okay, so what I can do here is I'm going to go ahead and use this little blueprint just to place it down, but I'm set it to a priority level of 1, so hopefully we don't build it. So one of the problems I have right now is that a lot of these insulated tiles here were made out of mafic rock, which I can go up here and I can dig up here to get to it. But the thing is, I don't really need it, mostly because this works in a vacuum environment, so I don't have to worry about the type of insulation I'm using. The other thing is I have to mirror everything that I have inside of here, so that's interesting. So let's start with the bits that I know that I need. I need to build up these right here, and what that is going to do is it's going to push the molten iron to the left or the right, you know, if you build up a little bit of a barrier on either side. So that's the first thing I'm going to start with there. This little device right down here just senses the temperature of the molten iron over here because it absorbs a little bit of the temperature here, and then there's a gas right there or a liquid, and then that thermal sensor lets you know whether or not you're high or low. Again, I made a whole video series on this thing too. You can definitely go check that out. Okay, so the metal I'm going to use over here on the right is going to be all gold, and that's just because I'm going to be making these tiles out of gold. That allows me to transfer that thermal heat from here to the area of high thermal mass very, very quickly. And that's just because there isn't a lot of thermal mass in the metal tiles, so it kind of fluctuates quickly. And that's what I want here. That allows me to get that energy out of the volcano quickly so that I can drop it down and we can convey it away. So all the automation wires and everything is going to be made out of gold over here. So what that means, duplicants, is that we need to crank up the priority of gold because you're going to be building a lot of it, which happens to be on the other side of the map. Let's go ahead and double the capacity I have over here because that's going to be a big jump up from where we're at. Here's the thing about flipping like blueprints is that some of these automation things like the memory toggle here don't really flip that good because the reset changes. So I need to move that just a little bit. Okay, so what this signal is doing here is that once it reaches a certain temperature, it's going to cycle the door open and closed, just like that. So all it's going to do is open up for like 5 seconds and then the filter runs through and resets it. So that's the important bit there. Ooh, you know what? We have aluminum ore available now, but it isn't available in all the maps. So I'm going to stick with steel. I try to make these blueprints as universal as possible. There's a lot of extra things you have to think about when you're doing all of that. So there we go. That should pretty much be all of that. That allows me to detect the temperature there and do everything I need. Sweet. Ren, you got yourself stuck? How do I get you out of here? Fine, you can just sleep it off. All right, so this area I would like to have a nice high thermal mass. So I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of temperature shift plates in here. Those are made out of a lot of materials, so we can go ahead and throw a couple of those in there made of diamond. What do we have inside of here? A little thermal sensor. Again, this is all just going to be made out of gold. But you can see that I no longer have any gold available, apparently, even though I think I have a lot of it available. Maybe the game just doesn't understand. That wouldn't be the first time. And then there's some stuff down here that I switched out. I didn't need that anymore. All right, there we go. We're building that up. All right, so I'm definitely going to need a steam turbine. Lead would be what I would normally use in this map, but just to stay with the same metal, I'm going to go ahead and use gold. And then a liquid vent here. We want to drop that down. This is a good spot for it. I've built that in the wrong spot. Whoops. There you go, dupes. Try it again. Oh, Nicola. Bud, you've got yourself stuck now. These dupes. There you go. Nicola, no! Okay, so one change I'm going to make between my old blueprint and the new one here is I'm just going to use large gas pumps here made of gold amalgam. That's a little bit more affordable than the small pumps that would normally run in this area. And I'm also going to have a door over here, and that's going to be hooked up to a liquid sensor so that you can open and close it. That way you can pull a vacuum out of this area before you go and prime it with water. You'll see it in action here. Just give me a minute. Ah! This thing is flooding like crazy all of a sudden. Look at this. Whole base is covered in water at the moment. Stop! I was looking at my other screen. Stop! Stop! Just stop. We don't need this thing. Hey, dupes, could you do a little mopping, please? Please? My whole base is covered in water at the moment. No? No, let's just go dump more water on the problem. Thank you. Me? Bad choice. There we go. Mop, priority level 8. Do it, please. All right. I've turned I've turned this off, which means these are off, which shouldn't be a problem because I have plenty of oxygen flowing around. And everything has power. It should have power because I'm plugged into the grid down below, so I don't even, that thing was just running because something else wasn't running, you know. All right, mop everything, dupes, please. Thank you. Gosh, I just have too much water. I don't even know where to put it. Maybe down here? Dupes, I told you to build this wire. What are you doing? Oh, they're just driving me nuts today. Come on now. What do you guys have in the case of a Mondays here? Okay, plug this in down here, please. That's what I told you to do. All right, Ren here is starting to get a little stressed out. So I'm gonna go ahead and disable some of her food options. I do have some food that's in reserve just for this situation. That should be the surf and turf there, even though this menu likes to reset every 5 seconds. There you go, eat that up. Barbecue is also a good option. So if she eats either of those, that should take care of her stress problem. Hopefully. All right, so that disaster is over. Let's go ahead and focus on this volcano again. If we can deconstruct this, I didn't really want that to be built there. Okay, so what I'm going to do down here is I'm just going to go ahead and make a little bit of an auto sweeper and a conveyor loader. That'll be just right down here, and that's going to allow me to move this stuff out of this location. Dupes, what in the world? Oh man. Here, open that up. Ah, you can't. Okay, now open it up. Auto, anything? Dupes? How about some obsidian then? Aha, problem solved. Okay, like I was saying, a little bit of an auto sweeper and a conveyor loader right down there, and I'm going to dip it in a little bit of crude oil or petroleum, just so that when the metal falls from here down into that puddle, that will actually work to cool down the auto sweeper so that they don't ever get too hot. It will be hot. We're talking about a little bit over 100 degrees Celsius, but since these are going to be made out of steel, that's not a big deal. If it was just left in a vacuum, it would heat up over time and eventually break, so that's what I'm avoiding there. I'm going to put a couple gas vents right up here. That way we can go ahead and pull this vacuum once we get to it. So let's go ahead and throw those down. These are kind of just a temporary thing. You don't really need them. I guess I might as well use gold just because that's what I've already been using. I've got a ladder in the way. This is kind of a hard one to build because you just need to build ladders and remove ladders in order to get to where you need to go. That's one of the things that's always kind of going to be difficult about building this system, is that you can't always get to where you need to go. So let's go ahead and build that little loader right there. And we also need an auto sweeper. These are both made out of steel. Bam, just like that. And then I need a bottle emptier because that's obviously where the crude oil needs to be delivered. So there we go. So now we can go in there, we can build this little bit of a puddle, and then we can sweep up the iron once it actually drops down from this door. Okay, it looks like I need a little bit more diamond. I think I had some that were built up into tiles over here. All right, so unfortunately I don't have enough diamond down here, so let's go ahead and switch these temperature shift plates to something a little different. Gold seems to be the obvious choice because that's what I'm building the rest of this out of, so let's go ahead and do that. Make sure to sweep that up. I don't want to leave a bunch of diamond in there. There we go. Boom, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll make the last one out of gold. Nice. Okay, now we need to wire all of this stuff up. That's important. None of this stuff down here needs to be wired. Matter of fact, this mechanized airlock doesn't even need to be wired. It can just run slow, not a big deal. However, we do need to wire this stuff here. So there's really not a lot of power that this thing requires to run. All right, so I have just about everything built over here. I do have one problem though that I'm going to have to work my way around, and that is that this iron volcano is currently active. So the thing is, it likes to erupt just about every cycle. So to dig this out and then analyze it, it's going to be kind of difficult. It's almost best to wait till this thing is dormant before I go and uncover it. Because the last thing I want to do is put in a ton of really hot iron into this area and end up melting all of my gas pumps and stuff. That just would not be good. So I might actually just wait for this thing to go dormant before I actually uncover it. So while I'm waiting for that to happen here, let's go ahead and just make sure I have a liquid lock to get inside of here to kind of just clean up and sweep up the rest of what I need to get into this area. Wait, Dupes, why are you making a mess now? What's up with this? What's going on here? Oh, too much water. Oh, I'm drowning in water in my base. What? I think I'm going to have to start growing some bristle blossoms or something like that in order to actually consume some of the extra water I have in my base. Like right now, I don't have a spot for all of it. Oh no, everybody's having the same issue. Stop flooding my base, Dupes. Stop peeing on the floor. I'm amazed these Paku haven't been like messed up again. All right, well, since my dupes seem to be all about bottling liquids today, let's go ahead and see if we can get the crude oil up over here. So Meep is gonna run all the way from down here, through a dock, all the way up through this area, to get up here to deliver to one of these two bottle emptiers. Good job. That's all I needed. Just a little bit of crude oil right there. Boom. That will build up right in this spot, so therefore, it doesn't ever move from there, and we have a nice little gas lock right there. I put a mechanized airlock there just for a little extra security, though. Get some more mopping to do, by the way, Meep. Sorry, bud. Oh, you know what would be a good thing to have here instead of an insulated tile? If I just take an airlock and place it on its side, the dupes should be able to navigate through there. Or maybe if I just put this back here, we could just hop over it. So this way you only need one way in. You know, it could be on the right or it could be on the left, but at least you can get everywhere you need to go inside of here. My goal here is to just have one way in and then be able to get to all of the different spots. So if we need to go over here to do something, we could do so. If we need to go over here, we can do so. We don't need to have two liquid locks just to get into this place. So I can build up the ladder here, therefore we can dig it out and then sweep all of that up while this thing is dormant. Please be dormant. I don't think it is. Ren, are you stressed out again? No, that's Nicola. Nicola, why are you so stressed? Probably because you keep stepping in like tons and tons of water. Soggy feet, yep. Ah, there's more water. What? Dupes! You're peeing all over the place. It's ridiculous. Stop doing that. There we go. I set up a bottle emptier here so at least we can dump into this puddle down there. Oh, and these little carbon skimmers are running now, so at least I don't have too much carbon dioxide in this area. Nice. It was up to like 3 kilograms of carbon dioxide. Almost too much. I deconstructed this little station right there. We're going to change that up and have more stations up top, and that's just how that's going to function. I should be able to probably house 2 duplicates over here if I really wanted to. This should be Drandolf's bed, but right now I don't have the right stuff in place to make it happen. Although I do have a lot of gold, so yeah, might as well throw some of that down. Who's making a mess now? Fuzzbutt, are you serious? How many times do I have to empty these stupid pipes? Are you kidding me? How much water is in this base? Oh, it's because I don't have an overflow right there. Okay. No, I have one right here. It's just not overflowing enough. Oh gosh, now they're all having the same issue. All right, there we go. Cleared out the pipes. That should at least help for a little while. Jeez. Man, I'm stumbling into more problems than I'm solving all day. Man, this is a real Monday, isn't it? All right, please stop being so mean to me, duplicates. Ugh. All right, here we go. Crude oil, done. I just want to make this machine. That's all I want to do. I just want to look over here today, dupes. Just here. One simple little project. Okay, so there we go. I was able to kind of disable this for a little bit. We can go ahead and disable that turbine for just a moment here. And get in there and try to fix that aquatuner. Good luck, dupes. I'm going to lose a lot of my steam pressure, aren't I? Come on. Okay, priority level, please. Oh, there it all goes. Come on, dupes. You can do it. There we go. Oh, no. You supplied it. How about repairing it? No. You guys don't get to relax yet. Fix that. Come on. All my steam's flowing away, dupes. Dupes. Come on. Oh, wrong tile. Come on. Thank you, Fuzzbutt. Oh, man, you're so slow. Ugh. Well, we still have 9 kilograms worth of steam in there, but oh my gosh, did a lot get out. Look at all of that. Boo. This is the episode of flood, isn't it? Just constant flooding. All right, we'll turn that back on. At least we'll keep that aquatuner safe. Ooh, all right, but I would like to use that power for something, but I don't really want it to blow up while I'm trying to wire things here. So let's go ahead and try this. Okay, we'll plug in those batteries over there, and we'll try to route this wire here. Whoop. Over this biome, over here, and then right down to this unit. So maybe I can use one hot system to turn on the other one. So let's route that power over here. Right over there. Oh gosh, come on. All right, dupes, let's build this power wire, please. All we have to do is go from here over here. So this is sealed off now, so it should be ready to pull a vacuum. And then once we've pulled a vacuum in here, then it's safe to kind of go and uncover this iron volcano. Now, if I flip that real quick, you can see that will then drop the obsidian down. Cool. But that'll be iron next time we go and do this. I do need some water over here. So maybe I can, maybe that's where I can go ahead and dump all of my extra water. Just bring it over there. I certainly do have enough water. Crap, I got too much water again. Stop. All right, enough of this water. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to give it a place to go. It's got a long ways to run, but we'll get there. Okay, there we go. No. Don't tell me we're backed up again. Gosh, sure looks like it though. Come on, empty the pipes. Thank you. All right, dupes, let's finish this pipe up, please. We're getting pretty close. You can see that it's mostly formed. We're just missing a few spots right there. There you go, one more. Ha! Now, if I re-enable this petroleum generator, I should be able to pump some of this liquid out. But I don't think I want to turn on the ethanol distillers again. That would be nice to not have those on. Turn those off, please. Press the enter button. That should shut them down. That way we produce less carbon dioxide and we actually can convert more water out. There we go. So now the water should be flowing out. Or not. I mean, this water found its way. Look, see, it knows what it's doing, but why, what? All right, whatever, that pipe's going away. Thank you. Oh, is that not enough? Do you need more instruction, Mr. Pipe? Do you not know what you're doing yet? These pipes, I tell you what. Dupes, deconstruct it. Come on now, today, please, deconstruct. Anybody. The pipe should be working. It runs from a... It annoys me when it should be working, but it definitely is not. See? This water knows where it's going. There we go. Okay. You just needed some extra instructions. Now we can finally clear this water out. Good deal. All right, so by moving that water over here to the right and into this area, that should really help us out because once we have it in this spot, we can convert a lot of that to steam and we'll increase the amount of thermal mass we have in here, which means we can actually store a lot of energy inside of there. So what I want to do is go ahead and set this to open real quick, and then we will, hopefully these gas pumps will power up here pretty soon once we get some power to it. It looks like we're still building that wire right now. I set this thing to a relatively high temperature of 200 degrees, hopefully so that we don't waste too much power. However, this thing is just constantly running at the moment, so yeah, it's still wasting some power at the moment. But hey, at least it's not destroying itself. That's a plus. Thank you, dupes. You managed to drop all of your atmosuits on the ground. I'm gonna set that to vacancy. That was my bad. All right, there we go. Now this gas pump is up and running. Very nice. A few more wires and this one will be up and running too, which means we can go in there and we can start to uncover that iron volcano, at least once we get closer to a vacuum. Let's see here, if we flip that, can't really uncover that. We can set it to 200 seconds and then flip this switch That should open the door for a while. What I want to do is try to get this thing down to a vacuum. So it takes a little while for that to happen. There you go. Keep pumping it out. Beautiful. So at this point, I think I have a working design. So I'm going to go ahead and make this into a blueprint right here. Just this. That bit. Boom. So there we have it. One blueprint complete. This is the mirror of the last one. So hopefully that works out. Oh, wait. Hold up. I forgot something. I need to ship that rail out. All right. I think I have enough water. Please. Please stop. Stop with more water. I don't need more. I don't need more. Come on. 9:45. Okay, there we go. Whew. That was almost too much water. Oh, now where's it going? It's all running away. Where are you going now? Oh, you're just going to build up and then try to plug up something else, aren't you? Never thought I'd have so much problems with just having too much water. All right, I tell you what. Here, we'll just put a little vent right there and plop some water down in this spot. I don't know what else to do with it right now. I just have too much. All right, so there we go. Now both pumps are up and running, and I do have a little bit of a conveyor rail started. Perfect. That's what I wanted. So now we'll make that into a blueprint. Ha! So there should be a link to that blueprint in the description below. You can go ahead and check it out there if this looks like something you would want to build in your base. So what I'm hoping is that we'll be able to pull this to a nice clean vacuum here pretty soon. It's going to take a few cycles, but you know what? I have plenty of power at the moment. All right, dupes, let's come in here and sweep this stuff up real quick. See if we could pull that vacuum out of there. We're down to about 9 grams or so. It takes a while to actually clear all this stuff out. The small pumps are a little bit more efficient, but you know, they use up plastic and stuff, so. I kind of like the big pumps. I think this volcano is dormant. Yes, it is currently dormant. So let's go ahead and dig this up real quick. That way we can get a duplicate in there to analyze it, and we'll kind of see just how much iron we're going to get out of this volcano. All right, so there we go. 1 iron volcano. Just want to make sure we sweep that up and analyze it. Set that to a nice high priority. And we'll get some sort of idea of what's going to happen here. You can see that the oxygen system is running really good. What I did that was different from the last video is I hooked in this third one to this same loop here, because we do have a lot of different docks that I was running through. And I found that if I was running too many of these docks over here on the right, some of this oxygen wasn't really building up inside of the pipe like I wanted to see it, just like you see right now. So by hooking that third one in, I now have enough oxygen for all of that. So as it is currently, I do have more than enough oxygen for my base, and things are pressurizing nicely. So if you take a look at that, plenty of oxygen. If you take a look at the temperatures here, things did start to heat up a little bit at some point because this thing was disabled for a little while. But now that that's re-enabled, it's not a big deal. One spot that's kind of annoying me a little bit is these oxyferns right down here. Since they are above the compost piles, they're ending up a little bit too hot, so they aren't running quite as much, which is really why I'm having an issue with the water, because normally this would just consume all of that water and convert the carbon dioxide into oxygen inside my base, but because the temperatures are just over 40 degrees Celsius, this stuff is flicking on and off a little bit. I am supplying it with cool water now, or cooler, at 34 degrees as compared to when it was coming from down below. I don't know, water remains to be kind of an interesting thing. I have to figure out what to do with all my excess water at the moment. I would say run it to the oxygen system, but right now it doesn't seem like it needs more water. If anything, it almost seems like it needs less water so that the geyser can continue to run more and more and continue to keep the temperatures down. All right, so it took my duplicate 2 cycles to analyze this volcano, and we can see that we now have an average output of 350 grams a second. The active period is every 75 cycles out of every 120, so it won't be active for the next 36 cycles. But at this point we have a vacuum inside of here, so there is no oxygen or gas or anything inside of here for the iron volcano to actually interact with. So therefore, when all of the molten iron comes out of here, the thermal energy will really not transfer to anything, maybe just a little bit to that tile, but that shouldn't be a big deal. For the most part, it's just going to fall over here, and then at this point, that should go from a liquid to a solid very, very quickly, and then dump into all of this water over here, which will then eventually be run on this steam turbine. I have a couple doors automating the sequences in case the temperatures get really hot over here. I kind of doubt it, considering how much water I have over here, because I have a ton of it, but we'll see what happens. So at this point, I just close up the door and let it run. I've already got some crude oil down here. This should keep the temperatures down so that these don't melt. The overheat temperature for this stuff is 275 degrees Celsius. So this thing won't open up until it's below 150 degrees. So, all right, so there we have it. One blueprint here for taming this iron volcano. Now I know this thing should work because I've built it a couple times now, several times actually. So now I should be able to take this blueprint here and go ahead and just run on over to the gold volcano and just rebuild it once again. So if we line this up, you'll notice that once again we're right up against the side of the map, but we have just enough space. A little bit of neutronium is going to encroach on the far left, but that's not a big deal. So boom, just like that. The duplicates can run on over here and build it once again. All right, so my dupes are busy at work again, but unfortunately, this is all I have time for today. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little episode here of Oxygen Not Included. If this looks like the channel for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. As always, stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out.